Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. Week 16 in the NFL kicks off tonight with a big NFC West matchup between the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams come into this game 11-3 and are playing for the division lead. Rams head coach Sean McVay said yesterday that wide receiver Devontae Adams is looking doubtful to play tonight after re-injuring his hamstring last week versus Detroit. You can listen to the game right here on The Zone with Westwood One's coverage beginning at 7 p.m. In NFL news, the Indianapolis Colts have opened the 21-day practice window for quarterback Anthony Richardson. Richardson suffered an orbital fracture in warm-ups prior to their Week 6 game while doing an elastic band workout and has been on injured reserve since. The Colts are currently 8-6 and sit one game outside of the AFC wild card. The Dallas Cowboys are also making a change as defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus will finish the season calling plays from the coach's box instead of the sideline. Dallas's defense ranks 29th in the NFL. Lastly, former Tennessee Vols quarterback Hendon Hooker has signed today with the New York Jets practice squad. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all four Seasons Garage Stores, 615-737-1045. Coming up within the hour, we'll be joined by Chris Phillips, who had some very strong opinions about the whole Diego Pavia situation. We'll let him tell it in his own words coming up here shortly. But we got to get into, I've been trying to work this topic in for like 3 days now. The Titans are not Titans. The Tennessee Volunteers and their transfer quarterback situation. Jake Merkslinger, the Merkslinger is out.
Merkslinger?
Yeah, Merkslinger out.
I got that one.
It's George McIntyre, Fajon Brandon, and then all these transfer quarterbacks as a possibility. Because you only have two quarterbacks that are scholarship quarterbacks on the roster for University of Tennessee.
I guess Joey's still on the table, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with him and Diego Pavia's lawsuit. I remember that Diego Pavia once said there is no lawsuit, but apparently there is a lawsuit.
I thought he was saying that he was doing it for other players because he was moving
but
on.
not for himself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not take it that way, but that makes a lot more sense.
Do you think he was saying that because he thought he was going to go first round?
Hey, listen, I'm not going to put anything past how Diego Pavia views himself.
And you want a guy to have that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
Hey, man, come on, bro.
Yeah, he may have that kind of confidence. I'm not going to say no. He doesn't think that because there's a good chance he may think that I'm a first-round quarterback.
So here's why I say that, just for laughs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just as good as Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
What pick is Johnny Manziel what?
He was like
20-something?
No,
right?
was he 11th? He was before Taylor Lewan, right?
He was up there, man.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up because I thought he went before Taylor Lewan,
he was
right?
The first rounder. That's
maybe
why
I'm wrong on that.
He thinks like that.
He was 22nd.
He was 22nd. Okay,
good call. Man,
there you go.
One point, man. I just knew he was a first rounder. I thought he was a third, fourth round guy.
You got so many quarterback options. I mean, you have Perbula from Missouri, G.J. Lagway from Florida. You have Sam Levitt. You have, obviously, Brendan Sorsby, who has ties to University of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this kid from North Texas is going to be available, but Drew Mestamaker.
Because his coach got the Oklahoma State job. He may follow him.
Yeah, his coach went to Oklahoma State, like you just said, may follow him. So I don't know if that's a real one, but that would be a great one for this offense. I mean, you're talking about a guy who threw for over 4,000 yards last year at North Texas.
Oh, but they throw the ball around the yard.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah. So there are options. I guess it just comes down to, is it a one-year bridge quarterback guy that you're looking for, or is it a guy that you're just kind of bringing in for competition and you're hoping that maybe Georgia, I guess if you were building this like an NFL roster, right? You got George McIntyre, you got Fajon Brandon, two highly touted recruits. Mm-hmm. Are you bringing in a Brandon Allen, Or are you bringing in like a Marcus Mariota to come in and like maybe actually kind of push, but not really push?
I think if you know that the seat could get real hot if you're not doing what you're supposed to do as head coach, I think he's going after that Marcus Mariota.
Hey, and there was another.
Yeah.
There's another quarterback today that's entering the transfer portal, Bo Pribula of Missouri.
Well, thanks for listening to the show because I already said that.
Oh.
That's the very first name I mentioned.
Yeah, I was talking to him off air. I was delaying the process because I didn't have my
I was rereading the 20.
I did not have my headphones on.
I was reading the 2014 draft class again.
I got intoxicated by the 2014 draft class.
Yeah, but that's I think they're gonna go after veterans. So my whole point is, dang it, when are you gonna ever just let the young dudes play, man? Like, hey, man, and this is a pivotal year. Like, if they don't, I think they have to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then you have to go
because everybody's hyping up this defense, and I'm not saying they shouldn't hype up this defensive coordinator.
Oh, Tim,
but everybody's hyping up this, defensive coordinator they just hired, and you can already see the wheels turning in Vols Nation that maybe let's crank up the expectations.
Yeah. Well, I want them to pump the brakes on that. As I said before about Tim Knowles, is it usually takes a year for the defense to really have a good handle on what he actually does. So it'll be up to him. He says he's going to change some different things. When he went to Penn State, he did not. You could hear James Franklin talk about that on a weekly basis. He was only there for that season, that last season. So, but once he's there for 2 and 3 years, phenomenal. So I don't know if he's going to change his tack. Most coaches are who they are, and they don't change. So I think that I want to be careful with that one, in that, he may be, sometimes just put in a lot, and then, because I heard him one time say, it's my fault if they get beat. Huh? No, it's not your fault if they get beat. It's the player fault. I heard this interview with him, and I go, see.
Just a couple days ago, I saw the same thing.
I hear him still saying, I'm going to do it this way. Yeah. That's what he's really saying, but I'm going to take the blame.
He tells them before they go out in the field, if I'm not mistaken, any mistake you make is on me.
Yeah. Nah, this is not Pee-wee.
Yeah.
So what he's really saying is, if you make a mental mistake or even a physical mistake, that's on me. That's my fault. I didn't identify something during the week, and I get it. But, we can't baby these college athletes now. They're making more money than most NFL players, to be honest. So
that's why a lot of them don't enter into the draft.
That's what's changed. So we shall see. But, man, if he hits and gets it right, and, they all are on the same page, it could be something special. It could be.
That's why I would look for potentially them to get a couple Penn State defensive players through the transfer portal. There's only one in there right
helps.
now.
That always helps.
Just helps transfer.
But he was only there a year now.
Yeah.
A season, I mean, yeah.
So do you think there could be maybe an Ohio State player from a couple seasons, last season, I guess, that could jump over?
Well, that'd be Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, they are familiar with the terminology, and that always helps other players, and it speeds up the process. I love your idea on that. So they've been a year in, so, so they would probably be a lot more comfortable. Yeah, because having other guys in there that know the system always is very, very valuable. I know that was valuable for me. So I know when you got these athletes in college, these elite guys like that makes it a little bit easier. One thing, your coach telling you, but it's another thing, a player to player talking to you. So that's a little bit different. So, we may see that.
With this University of Tennessee quarterback situation, looking at the transfer portal, outside of Drew Mestemaker, who I'm with you guys, probably take him off the list more than likely. Doesn't mean Tennessee can't go in and throw him the bag if they want to, but Sam Leavitt seems like the best fit for the situation if you're truly looking for a bridge quarterback, because he's going to go into the NFL draft after this year.
Yeah, I like
so you
him.
truly can develop and let someone else take over the following year. So I do wonder if that is your best situation. That's a high-profile get for your team.
Do you think after what happened this past season with Nico and then Aguilar, do they believe they can get a good quarterback and in their system? That way they save themselves some cheese, and then they can get that money to somebody else instead of getting the league guy. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, I mean, it's just like free agency, right?
Right, it's free agent. I love Leavitt. I think he's going to be the first pick of the draft when he comes out. And based off of his freshman year at Arizona State.
You're right.
So as long as he doesn't get hurt, I just don't know if they are going to want to spend that kind of money. And it'll be interesting.
That's a good point, because when you're talking about, I'm assuming now that with NIL here, you kind of have a free agency board, right? You have a recruiting board and a free agency board. And that's kind of like basically what the NFL has. They have their free agent board and they have their draft board. Okay, do we really want to pay $20 million to this cornerback? Or do we think there's a big, long list of cornerback prospects that we like in the draft that can maybe compensate for the money that we spend, and we spend that on a wide receiver, we spend that on a edge rusher instead of a cornerback. Just those kinds of conversations.
And you can spread the money out amongst it. You get a really good player, maybe a notch above Aguilar, but you're not playing, that elite Levitt type man. I mean, he's probably going to get $4 million, $5 million.
I would love for it to be DJ Lagway, though, just for the drama.
Oh, my.
The drama would be so fun. And just have Florida fans watch their quarterback possibly put up the best stats of his career at one of your most hated opponents.
Is there any history of them recruiting him when he came out?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Because to me, that'll kind of give you a little bit. I think most coaches are coaches of, creatures of habit. When they know a player, they've been recruiting him, they've seen him play live, and whoever those guys are at quarterback, I think, especially Heupel being a former quarterback, I think he would feel like he had a little more insight on what he could do in his system. So I don't know if they ever offered him. I know he was a highly recruited player. Right?
Yeah.
Because he was a dual threat type quarterback.
So it was his finals came down to Florida, Alabama, Arkansas, Baylor, and Boston College.
Oh, so he went on.
So I do wonder if Ty Simpson enters in the transfer portal. Now they have a couple of recruits back there too, but DJ Lagway goes to Alabama where they recruit. Now he wasn't recruited that year by Kalen DeBoer, obviously, so maybe there is no ties there, but you never know.
Man, you want Simpson to leave?
No, I'm just saying if he does. Because I would actually prefer Simpson to stay,
right? Because
I think he would be even better in year two. Because there you saw, I think, in the middle part of the season, the larger part of the season, what Ty Simpson could be. And I think another year here at Alabama, I think you could see him. I think you could see him compete for the number one overall pick. I don't know if he's necessarily competing for the number one overall pick this year.
Yeah, and that's what makes me think that's not even on the table, that he will leave. Especially his background. People are calling about, who his dad is and how they think. And he already sat and waited and been patient. Now he's his second year in this system. He could go and then take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So, somebody can offer you more money, but at the end of the day, a kid like him, more money, it may not be the issue. It could be, I want to be comfortable. I understand the system. They got my back. We had some up and downs during this first year. As me, the starter, the guy. I need some more, pelts and starts. And I want to stay where I'm at because I'm comfortable there. As long as they're still supporting him.
Yeah.
And I think they will. I love his athleticism. I think it's underrated. And I love how he goes through his progression reads. I never thought he was going to be this good.
I've never seen him play in high school. Didn't.
I never saw him play in high school. I just saw all the hype. And actually, I'll tell you a little nugget. Jim Harbaugh called me and asked me about him. And I said, hey, man, I've never seen this kid, but everybody's talking about him like he's that kid. He said, well, I'm coming down and watch him. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's have some coffee.
There you go. Hey, Nick Saban, a better recruiter than Jim Harbaugh?
I don't know, man. I think so, because he was kind of, I don't want to say late to the party, but when he calls me and asks me, and I go, man, I said, I'm not going to be honest, I haven't seen him play, but a lot of hype around him. I said, he's in Martin, so that's why I don't pay attention to him. I said, but I would definitely come down and check him out if I were you. You see him live being a former quarterback and being a great recruiter of quarterbacks. So, what Michigan brings to the table. So, yeah, he came down, and I think he definitely thought he liked what he saw.
Yeah.
But they for sure offered him, but he wanted to see him live.
It's definitely good that, though, Tennessee can make this decision early in the process. Last year, it felt like a kind of a perfect storm after the fact, but getting Joey Aguilar so late into the building and everything in the process, and it still paid dividends.
It did.
Now you get someone maybe a little bit earlier that can come help and do that, and that should maybe speed things a little bit up, even though it didn't really slow anything down for Joey Aguilar. You have to give props for him and the coaching staff to have him ready that quick and look that good opening week.
I was stunned how good he looked that early in the process. So I don't know. The Cincinnati guy, I feel like that homerism, I know that's a lot of talk around that, and sometimes that has nothing to do with the decision, but that's kind of a middling type player. It's Cincinnati. You want to see what he can do at the next level, bigger than Appalachian State or, maybe even he hadn't even played at UCLA. So Aguilar. So I don't know. I'd love to see a guy come home and then somewhere close to home anyway.
I got an underrated name, I think, who's already in the portal.
Who?
Kenny Minchie. He's from the area. He went to Pope John Paul. Here, he's the.
I know you. He's the backup at
Notre Dame. He's into the portal. So Tennessee was his first offer, but it was while Pruitt was there.
Yeah.
But they made it into his final 5 or whatever, which would have been when Heupel was there. Yeah. And it was his first offer overall.
Pitt was his initial
commitment.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I know their family too.
If you can push down the field or you at least want to showcase your deep ball, there's no better place to really go than Tennessee.
Well, and he can run too.
Yeah.
Like he's a good running quarterback.
Yeah, he was a solid player. I got a little insight on him. I would have stuck with the Pitt because they were backing him the whole entire way. And then at the last minute, Notre Dame flipped him. Because the parents came in like, Marcus Freeman was here. I said, well, you didn't call me. I want to put him on FaceTime.
Get him to the Titans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have been cool just to meet him, man, because everybody says so great things about him, just as a human being.
Well, I got good news. It is Titans Ticket Thursday. Each Thursday before home games, we'll be giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the next Tennessee Titans game. That's this weekend. Kansas City Chiefs, be caller number 5 to win 2 club-level tickets to see the Titans host the Chiefs this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. 615-737-1045 is the number. Coming up next, Chris Phillips, and we'll go around the SEC with him. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Let's face it, buying a vehicle should be straightforward and stress-free, and that's exactly how Two Rivers Ford has been doing business for decades. This locally owned dealership has a non-commissioned sales team whose only focus is to find you the right vehicle at the right price without the pressure. So you'll actually have a fun car buying experience. Great prices, easy financing, and a non-commissioned sales team. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. And we're going to go around the SEC with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. And Chris, let's start off with, what did you think of what Diego Pavia said after he lost a Heisman, but also what did you think of the reaction to what he said?
Guys, first things first, appreciate you having me on. Yeah, I've had a very interesting week when it comes to Mr. Diego Pavia.
Really?
I wouldn't have necessarily taken the route that he did. I'd like to say that first and foremost. I think there's two things can be true at once. He could have reacted in a much better way. The other truth is the overreaction from some people and the pearl clutching was outrageous that I saw, of people trying to demonize the kid, like he's just like the worst person on planet Earth. Like he did such an unforgivable act. He is who he is, man. Diego's been the same guy for 2 years, you know? So, like, again, there are things that I would not have handled it the way that he did. You guys probably wouldn't have handled it the way that he did. But I'm not going to, like, there were a lot of people that I saw on social media, a lot of talking heads out there that were just waiting for the moment to take their shot at this kid. And I say kid, by the way, and I get it. He's a grown man. He's 24 years old. I know what I was like at 24, guys. I was a POS at times too. So like let the person
all say we were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw stones from a glass house here and say that, like, man, he should be this outstanding citizen at age 24. He should know better. That, like, somebody put a camera in his face at the club and he flicked off the camera. You put a camera in somebody's face at a club, you play silly games, you're going to win silly prizes. You know what I mean? So I get it. He's in a position of prominence. He's at the Heisman Trophy ceremony. You're expected to act a certain way. But Diego Pavia marches to the beat of his own drum. So my take on it was, Diego, you could have handled it different, but Diego Pavia is who Diego Pavia is. That's why we love him. That's why he was one of the most fun personalities and one of the most fun players to cover in college football for us and for me personally. And I'm going to miss him in college football. I think the shots being taken this week from people, and especially those in the media, the pearl clutching especially, like I said, you got somebody out there like Reese Davis saying he regrets his Heisman vote.
Oh,
to me, that feels a little outrageous. That feel like you can admit that he should have handled it differently without also dragging the kid to the mud and saying stuff like that, in my opinion. So a rare measured take from me, I know, but, I think there is somewhere in the middle here.
Yeah, Reese Davis, man, highly acclaimed, man. He kind of represents college football in a certain way. But I want to ask you a little tidbit before we move on with Zach's next question, and that is, but do you think by him saying this and doing this after the Heisman and losing it, that this could hurt him even getting drafted? And I'm talking about, I think he was probably a mid to late round guy. So does he now get drafted? Because it's going to make some of those NFL coaches and scouts and GMs say, maybe we'll just get him as a free agent.
Yeah, I think even before that, guys, realistically, I think Diego Pavia is probably a day 3 guy, if not an undrafted free agent, just from a size perspective. Again, you guys follow it super closely, and y'all know the NFL really, really well. So, you could tell me even more so in depth, but I just look at him from the measurable standpoint. And yeah, it's probably going to be tough for Diego to, make an NFL roster or be like a starting quarterback in the league. I certainly don't want to put any limiting beliefs on this kid. From people I talk to that are in and around Vandy, Diego Pavia believes he's going to be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. It's that belief in himself that has led him to this point, right? So, we'll see what the future holds. It's something he's going to be questioned about, right? Again, you guys know it's when you're investing money in somebody and you're investing a future around someone, you are going to nitpick and be particular about every little thing. So, yeah, this is something they're going to grill him on, no doubt. He's going to get questioned about it, no doubt. And how he handles it, I think, certainly will go a long way. But again, guys, I shouldn't have done it. Probably definitely should have handled it a different way. But the guy's a heck of a player. Yeah. So I know he's a little bit of a loose cannon, but let's not over exaggerate and make a mountain out of a molehill as to what he did or what he said. So, but yeah, he'll be questioned about it. It'll be up to him to answer it. I still think though he was always going to be a late round guy, if not maybe even an undrafted free agent, which, my God, guys, just wait till the NFL draft. If he goes undrafted, it'll be the victory lap all over again. People dragging Diego Pavia to the mud, which is, I guess it'll be great for content, but yeah, I'm fully expecting that to happen.
Gotcha.
I have a question because there's 930 ballots, and he only got votes on 705 of them. Doesn't that seem a little ridiculous? Shouldn't he have been on everybody's ballot? It doesn't have to be first, but I saw quite a few people put out their ballots and didn't even have them second or third. That seems a little insane to me.
Yeah, no, I saw people on social media that were in the media that tweeting out their ballots and they didn't have them in the top 3, and you just don't have a serious opinion if you're doing that. I don't know how. I don't know how you expect anyone to take you seriously. Again, I think a lot of people let their personal emotion get in the way of just, what is the Heisman Trophy? What are we voting on? What I think we're voting on and what the Heisman Trophy should be is the most valuable, most impactful player in college football. And I think it's a combination of a few things. Or is it just the best quarterback on the team with the best record? But, was there a more valuable, high-impact player for his football team that played at a high level than Diego Pavia? Fernando Mendoza is a really good player. Do not get me wrong. But if you take Fernando Mendoza off Indiana, they still probably win 10 games, especially with that schedule. You take Diego Pavia off Vanderbilt, with all due respect to all those other guys, because that was a really good team. It wasn't just him. But, guys, they probably go 7-5, 6-6 maybe, because he was the heart and soul of that football team. So, yeah, to not even have him in the top three, listen, if you don't think he should have won, fine. To not have him in the top three is just straight-up malpractice.
We're going around the SEC with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered.
Well, let's start with the big game there, Bama versus Oklahoma. Kalen DeBoer, is this his last shot if they lose or even if they win? Michigan believes he will be in Michigan. What do you believe, win or lose?
He ain't going to Michigan, guys. It's not happening. I don't see it. I think we're all really, really bored. But by the way, guys, congratulations to all of us. We are all, at least I'm assuming, having a better Christmas season than Sharon Moore is. So we at least can say that for ourselves, even if you're down and out. Hey, you're all making better decisions than Sharon was or is, what have you. But, no, I don't think he's going to Michigan, guys. And I know that, again, a lot of people are bored this time of year, and bowl season isn't quite hitting the way it used to, right? We're all kind of trying to find some juice in the bowl season, so we're all running a rampant around here saying that Kalen DeBoer is on the hot seat if they lose to Oklahoma, and he might hightail it to Michigan. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. I don't see any way. I really don't.
And what can happen in this game, though? What's going to happen in this game, though?
I think Alabama's going to win.
Ooh.
Listen, I am 0-2 picking Alabama-Oklahoma games between last year and this year, and I picked Bama both times. So you know what? Third time's a charm. I think, listen, I think this is a defensive slugfest, low-scoring game. That's indicated by the total in Vegas being at 40.5. What it comes down to is this. I know the game's in Norman at night. My Oklahoma buddies are furious with me, by the way. Or maybe they're ecstatic with me because I seem to be the jinx that, leads to them winning this game. But I look at it this way. Last time these two teams played, Alabama was the vastly better team. 3 turnovers cost them. I don't think you're going to see them be that careless with the football again. And I think in a game where you're looking for an offensive spark in a low-scoring game, I trust Ty Simpson and the Alabama offense, which has gotten healthy with Jam Miller back, Cuevas, the tight end, is back. I trust them just a little bit more than I trust the John Mateer and the Oklahoma offense, which has just sputtered all season. Sputtered is the best way to put it. It'll be up to both defenses. Again, guys, this is a game I think you're going to see both sides be pretty conservative because I think it's one of those whoever flinches first offensively is probably going to lose. I think there's going to be big, high-impact turnovers that impact this football game. And just like the first time around, right? I mean, again, Bama lost a close one. They lost the turnover margin 3-0. Even though they outgained Oklahoma, they doubled their yardage, lost the football game. So it's interesting because there's confidence on both sides. Oklahoma's thinking, hey, we went into their place, beat them. Now we get them at home at night in a playoff scenario. If you're Alabama, you just say, hey, if we don't turn it over 3 times, we're going to beat these guys by double digits. We were vastly better than in the first go-around. We'll see what happens, but I'm rolling with the Crimson Tide. I just trust the offense a little bit more, but, man, that Oklahoma defense, that front seven's the great equalizer. I mean, they're like an elite pitcher having a cutter or a changeup. They're just that wipeout. They can change the game in a single play in an instant. So I think it's going to be a really close, down-to-the-wire game, low scoring, but I got Bama.
You watching the games at home, or are you going somewhere, or no?
Nah, we'll be in Oxford. We're heading to Oxford, Mississippi tomorrow. You guys must have missed the big news this week.
Yeah, well, that's the...
We're doing yoga at Lane Kiffin's favorite studio in Oxford tomorrow.
What?
Did you really miss this?
I did miss that. I did not see that.
Funny, listen.
Is that your Twitter handle?
Listen, yeah, and it's on Instagram too. Listen, funny story for all those tuned in who may have missed this.
Okay.
So I jokingly tweeted on like Monday or Tuesday, I think it was, thinking we should do hot yoga in Oxford on Friday. Got any suggestions? And I tagged Lane Kiffin. I'm like, okay, he's probably not going to respond. Well, he did respond like an hour later and said 432. Well, for those unfamiliar, 432 stands for Studio 432 in Oxford, Mississippi. That is like the yoga studio he went to religiously. And actually, he went back there about a week ago. I think he went to Oxford for some reason. So he replied to me, and I'm like, I think we have to go now. And the yoga studio reached out to me. They were like, we'd love to have you. Here's our times, whatever. So we are booked for the 12:10 hot yoga session with whatever her name is. And, yeah, we're going to have ourselves a good time. So the content's going to be electric.
Have you ever done hot yoga?
Yeah, like 3 years ago. I know what I'm getting into. Yeah,
I'm a big hot yoga guy, boy. You better get your breathing right.
It'll be a good, really good detox before the weekend in Oxford gets going. We got a big show tomorrow afternoon at the Velvet Ditch in Oxford, which is right there off the square. Then we'll be there all night. Really good time, and obviously into the game Saturday. But yeah, we're getting the weekend going with some hot yoga. So I'm very excited for what's going to come of that for sure. So.
All right, Miami is going to Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is only favored 3.5 at home. How do you feel about this Texas A&M game? Because Vegas says it may be pretty close, but I would almost say Texas A&M should probably blow out Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like A&M in the game. I like them to cover as well. I think it's a double-digit point win. Higher scoring game. I think this might end up being the game of the weekend. You know, it's interesting, guys. Texas A&M has been a lead at home, 7-0 this season on the home field. Miami under Mario Cristobal, 5-6 against top 25 teams, and obviously now they're facing a top 10 team. So take that for what it's worth. You know, I think we're all kind of forgetting how good this Texas A&M team is just because of that loss to Texas. And I think that loss to Texas, you'd almost kind of write off as its own individual thing. You know what I mean? Because of the rivalry game, because of the mental, edge that Texas has over the Aggies. This is still one of the best teams in college football, in my opinion. I know Miami's very explosive on the offensive side. Carson Beck has been really, really good for them, and they got some big-time playmakers. But I like Texas A&M as well. Texas A&M as well at home. I think that you're going to see a raucous 11 a.m. crowd. It's Kyle Field, I think, will be a difference maker in this football game. And you know, I think you're going to see A&M get back to their bread and butter, which is running the football. Le'Veon Moss should be good to go in this game. Not putting so much of it on Marcel Reed. I know down the stretch, obviously, he turned the football over, did not play well. So that's the big question, too, guys, is, you know, these teams that have had this extra time to get ready, what version of these teams are we getting, right? Are we getting the mid-season A&M that was – again, I talked to people on that. I said, how many SEC teams can win the national title? They were thought of to be maybe the best chance from the SEC. I think now it's obviously Georgia, but right up there with them, if not the best chance. They struggle down the stretch. How does the time off affect Texas A&M to kind of gather themselves, catch their breath, you know, didn't have to play in an SEC title game, what have you. I think this will be a really fun, high-scoring game, back and forth. But I do think it's Texas A&M covering and getting the win at home.
So let me ask you this. A lot of SEC quarterbacks and a lot of just quarterbacks in general have entered in the transfer portal. What are your thoughts on where University of Tennessee may land with the transfer portal quarterback?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of the wild, wild west right now. We're kind of back to what the portal was a couple years ago where, I mean, it's just, you know, and I think the reason – when you fire as many coaches as we did in the SEC, well, I mean, guys are going to hit the portal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's funny, man. I was talking to a Tennessee guy about a week or so ago, and the name he kept mentioning to me is the Brendan Sorsby kid from Cincinnati, and I think that'd be a heck of a pickup. That kid was really, really good. You know, I think that is one. I think Tennessee will pursue him. Besides that, I mean, guys, take your pick. I mean, I've seen people talking about they think DJ Lagway would be a great fit in Josh Heupel's offense, which would be wild to see him in a Tennessee uniform after being in a Gators uniform. Bo Prabula just entered the portal. I think in the right system, he could be good. Not saying Tennessee, but just the right system, he could be good. I think the Sorsby kid from Cincinnati, I think, is, if I'm Tennessee, that's my top target. And also, guys, can y'all answer me this question? Is Joey Aguilar back next year? Do we know?
We're still waiting to hear on that. I mean,
and the follow up is: do Tennessee fans want him back?
I think they do.
Want him back?
I mean, maybe they don't want him over like a Sam Levitt but I think they would want him over Sorsby. I don't know if that's the right decision, but that's kind of the feeling I got.
And well, it's interesting. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks too. I mean, it's again, everybody's on the market to find their next guy. So, LSU's a big player in this. Obviously, is Bryce Underwood going to enter the portal? Like, I don't think we're near done with this. I mean, I thought Joey was solid for Tennessee. I know he kind of faded maybe a little bit, but it was more the defense, I think, that cost him. So, I think Joey Aguilar's second year in Heupel's system could be I mean, he's a really good fallback option if you need to fall back on a guy. But I'll be curious to see what Josh and them do at the quarterback position.
Last, before we let you go, now that the playoffs are starting, who you got winning it all?
How about them dogs? Give me Georgia. Give me Georgia. Here's all I'll say is this. I think the winner of Georgia, because I think it is going to be Ohio State A&M, which I think A&M could win that game. That game in Arlington is going to be an Aggie home game, essentially. I'm going to say Ohio State beats them, though. I think the winner of Georgia-Ohio State is going to win the national title.
Gotcha.
I think that's where the national champion is going to come from, that side of the bracket, from that game. I think it is Georgia. I think Georgia's just playing the best football of anybody right now. Gunnar Stockton's playing at a high level. The physicality on both sides of the football. Georgia's obviously going to have that extra time to rest and get ready. You're going to get as healthy as Georgia has been, Georgia. So like I trust Kirby. I trust Georgia. I think the dogs, man. I just, it's been a few years since they've been on top. I think dogs on top again. I think they are playing their best football at the right time. We've known all season an extremely talented football team, but they've got all the pieces and all the makings of a national champion. So seeing them in person in Atlanta do what they did to Alabama was
it was something.
I mean, it was something. It was very, very impressive. So give me Kirby Smart and the dogs to get it done. But I think the winner of that Georgia-Ohio State game. And hey, if it's Georgia A&M, I'd be willing to bet that whoever wins that game, I think the national champion's coming from that side of the bracket.
There you go. Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Now, Chris, I know you said the biggest announcement was the yoga thing, but you also had another announcement having to do with college basketball, if you want to throw that out there to our listeners.
Yeah. So we just launched our new college basketball show called The Layup Line. First episode dropped on Tuesday. That'll drop every Tuesday, Friday. It's part of really phase one of a big expansion going into 2026. So we're building out an SEC Unfiltered media network, if you will, where it'll be obviously under the SEC Unfiltered masthead. You're going to have a bunch of different shows. We'll have a football, baseball, basketball. Our SEC T show hosted by Sierra Clark does a great job. I'm going to have my own separate show as well for all my nonsense. And, yeah, we'll continue to build out and scale from there, man. So I always say the joy is in the journey and, man, enjoying every step of the way and gearing up for our biggest and best year. But, yeah, the Layup Line, definitely check them out. And I'm going to be diving hardcore into basketball, too. It's been obviously football primarily right now, but I'm a huge basketball guy. We've got massive March Madness plans also, so you guys will be hearing about that as we turn the calendar to 2026.
There you go. Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. You can go follow him on Twitter so you can watch him do hot yoga.
The content from hot yoga will be absolutely a must follow, no doubt.
I will not be watching you. I'll be watching the other people in there.
Hey, I'm gonna see why Lane Kiffin loved going to hot yoga. That's
there you go.
Yeah, I think me and Lane got that in common.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Blaine Kiffin. All right, that will do it for us. We appreciate it, Chris. All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk more about the college football matchups, give you guys our predictions, maybe have to take a little bit of a detour into the Lions Den best bets, sort of, at least to kind of tell people where we ended up. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
What are the marks of a good parent? They warn their kids about danger, who to trust and what to avoid, and how to make smarter choices. Hey, folks, it's Blaine Bishop for Eurofix. And Eurofix repairs European vehicles, and Eurofix believes in warning their customers, too. In one case, Eurofix wrote a $5,500 refund check to a customer. You said, who does that? Well, Eurofix polices themselves. Why? Because they're not about, cheating people out of money or overselling them over something that they don't need to pay. And others cut corners. Well, some just may not know what to do. So you could pay for something that you really freaking didn't need. Man, who knows? When I'm getting mine back, I never know if I'm paying too much. Well, Eurofix makes quality repairs at below dealer pricing. It has been since 1999. You also get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection and a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the work Eurofix performs. And rental cars are available with every appointment. So stay on the road and not on the tow truck is the goal. Family-owned. Locally over a quarter century. 5 locations all over the state of Tennessee. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX or online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We don't have to play the music or anything, but Lions Den Best Bets did not have a good final outing.
Oh, no. Wonk, wonk.
I went, I just went back and listened to it because I didn't bet
pass. You dropped the touchdown pass.
It went bad.
And then you lost it.
I'm going to have to figure out if I can find a way to maybe boost it through the bowl week or something. But
what about just do playoff games?
Yeah, I'll have to do playoff games or something, and I'll do that maybe tomorrow. But
okay, don't be like basic, like, I'm taking Oregon money line. Like,
well, I won't do anything like that. Good. I mean, the integrity of this has been pretty good.
No, I know you've done good.
You don't have to question my integrity in the Lions Den Best Bets.
Pat on the back, but you finished at what percentage?
46.2%.
No, you lost all 5, and you still end up.
46.2. I went down.
No, you only went down 4%. After going
because there's 60. There's a lot of bets.
Well, I mean, you were 50 going in.
Yeah, I was 50%, and then you add in 5 more bets.
Man. So you went 0 for 5 that last week?
I went 0 for 5. I just went back and listened to it.
Oh, no.
Because I didn't bet any of the bets. I forgot to put in my bets, and I went 0 for 5. So I went down to 46.2%.
It's tough.
That one was bad. It was a bad week.
Do we need to change the name of this to Lions Den, like 46% hit rate bets?
No, I mean, we'll try to get them back up. We're going to try and get it back up. I'll work on it tomorrow. I'll hit the lab. Obviously, got to look in the mirror, got to look at the film. It's all on me. Yeah. And,
but 50 is kind of pretty good, right? So 46%, how would you grade yourself now that the season's over? What is your eval?
I would say that
first year.
Man, that final one really got me. Because here's why the final one got me is because JMU half a point away from 1 point away from hitting that bet.
Okay.
Duke and BYU versus Texas Tech,
what'd you bet on?
Was set a touchdown away.
Oh.
And then the Virginia money line, we know that went into overtime. And then Navy only won by 1 over Army. So it's just like, it was close, a lot of close calls. But no excuses. You lose. I would say that I think I got a little crazy with the overs. If I had to go through and evaluate and say where I need to work on next year is maybe not get so enticed by all the overs in all these games. A lot of over bets that didn't hit. Always ride the hot hand. Sometimes I bailed on the hot hand here and there, but I feel like riding Georgia Tech for the most part was pretty successful. Riding Texas A&M was pretty successful for the most part. So those are two teams that, I keyed in on, and probably when I key in on them, I just need to continue riding them. A 46.2, I would say this. If being 50% is average, or you're a pretty good bettor if you're at a little bit over 50%. So let's call that a B. I would say that probably 46.2, at least in my eyes, a C minus. Now, other people may say, that's a C or something like that. But, I could have done better. There were some close calls, but I could have done better.
You did. I think you did good.
Yeah, I thought you did pretty good.
You didn't stray away from the tough ones, which a lot of people will do.
Because Ross was calling you out to make sure you didn't take those cupcakes.
He was.
You're ever trying to, bet on the Ball State game and stuff.
I'll have my Lions Den Best Bets tomorrow.
It's a big old team.
I'm very intrigued to see what you pick for that Bama game.
I'm not picking the Bama game. I will. That is my biggest rule is I cannot pick the Bama game.
Smart, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it gets a little emotional.
Which, by the way, -1.5. Because I can't afford Bama to lose and lose money on Bama losing.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's just too much for me.
We wouldn't see him for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I could also always bet for Alabama to win, but that's even worse. You just can't lose the bet. Texas A&M at home, 3.5-point favorites. Chris said they should win by double digits.
Man, I was a little
Are we
surprised by
underrating this Miami team?
No, he said that. Don't say we.
Well, I guess I look at it this way. I also think that Texas A&M will win because it's at home. But Vegas, this is kind of what I thought about Virginia. Vegas does not seem to view it the same way.
Well, and I would agree with Vegas. I didn't know they were 3.5. I wrote that down like, oh, man, because I got right here, when I watched both of these teams all season, they were a line of scrimmage teams. Yeah. And the U is not one to be messed with. They were just as good on their O-line as A&M was.
Yeah, they got a left tackle that will probably go really high.
Right,
Francisco
exactly.
Malaga.
He's going to go first round, and then they got skill guys.
Yeah.
So does A&M. And they have, let's see, who's the better pass rusher, Powell for A&M or Bain for the U. So I feel like it's a real close match.
Game.
I'm only going A&M because of the home.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be closer. And the U fan base, they may not have a lot, but they want to prove that they belong.
Yeah.
They missed out last year. They got a lot of motivation in this game. I wouldn't be surprised of an upset here.
Yeah.
See, and I think we've touched on this, obviously. Multiple people have said it. I'm kind of in this mode, and I know it's only been 1 year. Until one of these teams can get a road win in the first round, I'm thinking the home teams are going to win.
Right.
Now, could I see it in the Bama game and the Miami game? 100%. I couldn't really see Tulane or JMU getting it done. Right. But I think that home atmosphere, depending on the time of day you play, too, Bama going at night.
Yeah.
What time is the U game? 11?
It's an early game. Yeah.
You want to stick with the home game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the U got them. I think they're underrated. They are a really good team.
Those fans may not be able to get enough alcohol in them at 11 o'clock.
Early on, right.
He said, Chris did bring up the turnovers from the Alabama-Oklahoma game earlier in the year where Alabama had turnovers against Georgia, and I'm not saying Oklahoma's defense is as good as Georgia, but it's a pretty good defense. And like Ross just said, playing at night at 7 p.m., in Norman.
Well, and people always go, it's tough to beat a team twice in the same year. 100%. It's tough to beat Alabama twice. On the other side, though, there's probably some psyche. Since the Boar's been there, they're 0-2 against Oklahoma. So it's like there's something with this game that they struggle with. So I think that goes both ways. It's not just like it's tough to beat a team 2 times.
Yeah, in this game here, I think Alabama will win this game if Miller, the running back, because to me, he's the better one, and he sees the creases better.
Right.
If they are efficient in the running game, and I'm not talking about 100, they have to be efficient. That's just enough, and then how to get their passing game going. And as long as they don't turn over the ball, they will be in this game the whole entire time, and I think they can get them. I think I'm going to Alabama in this game. Who's favored in this?
Oklahoma by 1.5.
Yeah, I'm going Bama.
Which means they think Bama would be favored had this been a neutral site.
Bama.
Well, it's a toss-up on the money line for those two teams, like where it's plus money for Miami. These are both guys that are minus 104 odds for Alabama and minus 112 odds for Oklahoma. So the money line straight up is very, very close. That's a pick 'em.
Yeah. Well, I say that my other game, A&M U, is a pick 'em for me, but I think Bama's going to win this game. But you got to know that their defense, Oklahoma, man, they always come up with some great schemes and systems and blitz packages. Every game I watched them, I'm like, man, that was really, really good, especially when they played Tennessee as well. So, yeah, I think if they can just not turn over the ball, don't make any drastic mistakes, I think they're going to get their passing game going with the running game, being efficient. I think they got a great shot of winning this on the road.
All right. Let's shift gears to the Tennessee Titans when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
No.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time. But when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. So we had some the coordinators and stuff talk about, because we were just talking about the run game and how the offensive line is just, they keep saying commitment to the run game is the reason for the change. But if you really look at how they're running the ball from an offensive line standpoint, they're opening up massive holes. Doesn't require commitment to open up the holes that they're opening. I mean, it helps to get into a groove, but this seems to be an offensive line that over the last few weeks, and we kind of detailed it earlier in the week, but they've averaged versus the Jags 4.9 yards per carry, versus the Browns 5.6 yards per carry, versus the 49ers 8.1 yards per carry. I mean, they've been going up. Do not expect that trend to continue. I don't think that the running backs are going to get 10 yards per carry this week. But
I wish.
Yeah, I wish. But at the end of the day, it's more than just the commitment to the run.
Bo Hardegree kind of mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that it is commitment to the run, but it's way more than that. Here's what Bo Hardegree had to say about today after practice. He was interviewed by the media. Here's what he had to say about the kind of play calling turnaround over the last few weeks.
It's been great. It's been like Cleveland. The first drive, it's interesting though, the first 4 runs I called, averaged 1 yard. But we had those 2 big third downs and that play action. But it was kind of more or less, the way the game goes, staying with it, and kind of leaning on it a little bit. And, Mike's mentioned it a couple times, but the 2 threes become 4, 5, 6s, and eventually certain things you do throughout the game lead to certain things. For instance, Tony's second touchdown run in Cleveland, because of Cam spitting the ball out a couple times in the perimeter, they were really running sideways, and that's a big thing it helps the run game. It helps the pass pro. For instance, this pass game, the first run of the game I called FIB, we fast motion Chim across, right? If you go back and look at the clip, 4 guys went with Chim. And so the big play to later in the game to Van, right? Same formation, play action, deep, caught a bunch of eyes again. So that's kind of the stuff you do with that. And then, you hand a couple off to Chim every once in a while. But that, those averages when you look at them, 1 a game, maybe 1 a game. It's just to keep the defense honest, but just build off that and make things look the same, and build packages like that. And that's the stuff he's starting to get really comfortable with. It's been really productive for him.
So, yeah, I mean, he talks about the layering of the play calling, how the run game and all that kind of works in conjunction, which is all true. Mm-hmm. It just feels like everything has gotten, and maybe it's just this young team is getting more reps, and as the season goes on, everything just looks a little bit crisper. We'll disagree that Chimere DK needs more carries. Yeah, please, just throw that out of the playbook.
He didn't say he needs more, though.
Well, I mean, he said something similar to more. I mean, he said you got to keep giving Chim carries or something like that.
Yeah, he mentioned 1 a game. They need to figure out how to make that work, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that you're not going to be able to figure out how to work it these last 3 games. Let's just go ahead and wait for the offseason on that one. let the new staff decide whether they're going to get that to work or not.
Has one of those lateral passes worked?
You talking
every
screen?
time I see I don't know, the screen and it's a receiver or whoever's out there misses a block or gets run through.
What's funny?
Has it worked too?
Yeah,
so last week.
Did it?
Yeah, a couple of them worked last week. So what's funny is that
worked me.
I mean, the Chig catches. 2 of his catches were behind the line of scrimmage on screens. But that's funny because
he got 4 yards.
When he's blocking, this is when the screens don't work. But when he's receiving, the screens work.
Well, yeah, he got run through on one of those blocks.
Yeah.
Well, I think they used them the right way too. The first screen was that little middle tight end screen. So they got the D-line coming up field, Blaine, and then they dumped it off to him. But then they went right into tempo into an RPO. So it wasn't just a pure screen.
Got you. See, and that made it work better. Yeah.
And so we were saying that no-huddle tempo, get up to the line.
Right.
But what I've been saying the whole time, the no tempo, that's how you catch the defenses off guard. I'm going to just say this. I think the running game is working because Bill Callahan is not coaching.
I think you're right.
Because I said in the beginning of the season, I said, I don't know where all this he is the guru come from, but I talked to players and players who he's coached, and they go, he is not the guru. So I don't know how that got started. And I was hinting around to like, I don't know. We shall see.
We should predict. Here's what we should do.
I'm like, man, some people need to do behind the scenes homework. This is what they should be asking players. Who do you know on that team? If we talking about hiring that coach, what do they say about him?
Yeah.
DM him something. Do you have his number? All of that. That's how you do background work being legal. That's what you need to be asking these players.
So here's what we need to do.
I'm like, come on, man.
I got it. Maybe when they get down to their final five, let's have a segment in the show, and when they get down to their final five head coaches, and predict what everybody's going to kind of like, what title the local media is going to give to that head coach. Because remember, it was offensive guru and offensive divas.
How did this happen?
And that was only this area.
So, like, how do you become that?
And that's only Nashville media, by the way. I mean, like, if you go Google offensive guru or quarterback whisperer, that's only Tennessee articles. And so that just Tennessee articles. That's good. And marketing. So offensive line Jesus, I think Brent has now taken the onus of saying that he came up with that one. So let's predict what the next head coach will be called once we get down the final five. We'll go to the final five and I'll call them all.
That'll be a fun.
It'll be a little fun little.
They're
going
to call Salas something like defensive, like mastermind.
The maestro. He's a defensive maestro.
He's going to get the job. We don't know.
We said
just if he's top
final five.
Yeah,
I
if
think
he
makes it in.
Yeah, defensive maestro or something.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
The wizard of defense, Robert Saleh.
The defensive wizard. Man. So speaking of screens, Cam Ward out of
homework, man. Got to go look at their social media. Go look at these coaches' Facebook or something.
You talk about screens out of if you have at least 50% of 594 dropbacks. So Cam Ward has the 9th highest screen rate and the 8th lowest yards per attempt. So they're passing out of the screen at the top 10 highest rate, and they're getting one of the worst productions in the NFL. That's not a good and I get that you have to have screens as part of your game. I jokingly say they should just rip out all the screens. But it's just you're not a screen team. Like Arthur Smith, when he was here, they were a screen team.
Well, he was the best screen guy, but it's kind of a pattern of the history over time. The Titans have never been a good screen team until Arthur Smith was here with Henry. I mean, so that's kind of...
Well, they married a lot of screen off of our play-action game.
And this is not a play-action team.
And we don't have as much stuff to marry the screen game off of right now.
Yeah. Was he under center? I felt like Cam was under center more this last game.
He was, and also his under center rate keeps creeping up.
Yeah, see?
And so play-action rate, Cam Ward is 21st out of 27 quarterbacks with at least, 50% of 594 dropbacks. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but and what's kind of crazy is that he also in that has one of the lowest yards per attempt in the NFL because he actually is tied with Jackson Dart for the lowest yards per attempt out of play action. Typically, those are when you see your numbers jump on yards per attempt. So, listen, now, granted, he's a rookie quarterback, and this includes a large stretch where they weren't running a lot of play action and a large stretch where they were facing way better defenses than any rookie quarterback should have to see. But at the same time, you got to get better results out of it. And this tells you a couple of different things in my mind is that your play action and your screen game is kind of broken. And either you weren't using play action enough and because you weren't committed to the running game, that's why you didn't use play action. And that your screen game is not well designed and not well executed.
Yeah. You guys helped me with what Bo said there. And that is, he said the running game was helped by Cam. What did he say?
He said Cam was, I think they hit a couple RPOs or out wide passes in Cleveland, and then Tony busted that second big runoff.
Which, I guess I kind of get it, but because he even said Chim went across the line of scrimmage this last game and 4 defenders followed him. I find that a little bit hard to believe, right? 4 defenders on Chim?
They probably just didn't pass off properly.
Maybe not.
But, I mean, we've seen 2 straight weeks with them now, though, hitting a positive screen play. I guess we had a couple against San Francisco, but the second one wasn't a just traditional screen. But they were going at defensive linemen. They weren't trying to go on the perimeter these last 2 weeks in those plays.
I'm this is a good point by Dixie in the F&M Bank chat, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live. If the Broncos and the Rams were make it to the Super Bowl, and they're Super Bowl favorites for each conference, the first 2 games of the season were the Broncos and Rams, and that might be the Super Bowl matchup. I wonder when's the last time a rookie quarterback has faced that year's Super Bowl matchup.
Especially in a 1-2 punch to start the season off. I highly doubt that.
That'd be kind of crazy.
What
go ahead.
What was Cleveland's rank on defense?
Cleveland was top 6 at least.
Top 6?
Yeah.
I thought someone said they were 3rd at the time. Maybe not, but 100% top 6.
They were. Because you have so many metrics now. Depends on do you consider points, yards, efficiency? But they were top 6 to top 7 on most every metric. He has not faced an easy schedule.
That's where I was going to go. The opposite on that is it didn't matter in this game. We still put up points and we were able to execute. So
even the 49ers game,
the game plan and the execution. So I thought they did decent against Denver. I think the players mostly lost that game offensively. We got guys not even turning around for the screen, both of them blocking,
drop passes,
turnovers, right? So they could have actually won that game. I just whether you're playing elite defense or not, it's always about matchups. So I know it does matter, but even when you play good ones, they've shown that they can play well against highly ranked defense.
Yeah, these last 2 weeks, if you really want to compare them, the last 2 weeks.
Running the football.
These last 2 weeks are still against good defenses. We're talking about what they were I think heading into the year, into the game, they were 8th or 9th. The San Francisco was in points allowed. And before this game, they've dropped to 11th because of the Tennessee Titans and other games being in there. But they were still a top 10 team in points allowed, and you were able to put up 24 points on them.
I'm going to say this as far as just like what they need. And not this exact player at receiver, but someone of his ilk like him. And that is Diggs.
I like it.
So imagine if you got just a proven player who's a really good player, and then think of DK and then Alec Manor, and then Van Jefferson's coming off of the bench. Now we're talking. And so then that'll make it a little bit easier. And that's all they really need is that proven dude who's the dude. And then if he's not producing, they got to double him. They got to produce when they get their one-on-ones. So I just think, and then, whatever style offense they're in based off the head coach and who's the OC, I think, man, I really believe they are starting to show signs, especially if you understand you gotta be able to run the football to be efficient in this game, to be able to throw the football where it works hand in hand. But I think they're figuring some things out, and man, I wouldn't be surprised if they make the right freaking moves. And it's going to be tough. The draft is already not in their favor as far as what I'm looking for at high.
Right.
And so hopefully they can luck out and get one of those elite players. Then free agency, I don't know who's a free agent yet.
Let's dive into that Stephon Diggs comment when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. You were talking, Blaine, about finding a receiver that's kind of like that Stephon Diggs kind of wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great point to bring up because the Buffalo Bills traded for Stephon Diggs heading into Josh Allen's third season. I'm not saying we need to wait till Cam Ward's third season, but it's like, well, who is that guy for this team that they could maybe target? Because when you start looking at it, most of the guys are under contract, likely never going to get traded. Now, to be fair, we didn't think Tyreek Hill was going to get traded from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. That kind of came out of nowhere. Devontae Adams trade, a little out of nowhere, but I mean, there was some smoke there. So, like, who would that guy be? And I'm looking at the list of people, and I'm like, well, most of these guys just got their big contracts, and most of these guys are the guys that are counterparts to someone else that may be on the trade block. Like Jalen Waddle is the counterpart to Tyreek Hill, whose days are numbered in Miami. So if you're getting rid of Tyreek Hill, you're not going to get rid of Jalen Waddle. It's like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And let me tell you something, A.J. Brown's not going to want to come here. I would be shocked if A.J. Brown comes here.
He still has his house here. I guess he does.
Probably a better chance in Cleveland.
A guy like Justin Jefferson is probably too expensive for the current state of the roster.
They got to give up too much for that.
Like that, you would probably be giving up too much.
But Jordan Addison, maybe.
No, but he's only going into his third year, so you're not going to get rid of Jordan Addison. You know what I'm saying?
We want a dude, but
Michael
who's not
Pittman
going to cost you a whole lot. Like when you talking about they traded, Buffalo gave up a lot, but then when they traded him to the Texans, they only gave up a fifth and a sixth, and we're still getting maximum production. Then he tore his ACL.
So technically, Michael Pittman heading after this year is his second year of a 3-year extension. So he's heading into the final year of his extension.
Yeah, but the Colts are not going
to trade with him.
Same dude who said we were dead in week 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, can't fault a man for speaking the truth.
Jeez.
But talk about the one you said that he's on IR, but he's not injured at this point in time. But he may be a little bit of a problem. We don't know what it is.
We don't know what's going on, but if you did your due diligence, Brandon Ayuk would be that guy.
Yeah. There's a lot of smoke with the Commanders on that.
And the Steelers as well.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, what's also going on with the Commanders and Deebo Samuel? Obviously, Deebo Samuel will have a lot of insight, and things are not going well over at the Commanders. So would Brandon Ayuk rather go to the Steelers, who seem to be, at least somewhat competitive right now, but they got an aging quarterback.
May not know who the quarterback is.
So
people in the chat, please don't say Pickens. You know they not gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about Pickens because if you think that they were right in their assumption on Jarvis Brownlee Jr. being a quote unquote issue in the locker room, which we don't really believe, but that's what they say. What do you think they think about George Pickens?
Oh, my.
NFL young boy.
The other guy, but this is a very much a buyer beware situation, would be T. Higgins. Except for, he just stays injured.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And then and maybe a Michael Wilson down there over at Arizona. I don't know if he's the kid from Stanford.
Good on that one.
What's wrong with Michael Wilson?
Just good on that
What
one.
about Chris Olave?
I would be in on Chris Olave, but I don't know.
You just said T. Higgins be getting injured all the time.
Yeah, but Chris Olave's not been getting injured as T. Higgins. I mean, he's gotten injured, but not as injured as much T. Higgins. Garrett Wilson could be one that could float out there.
Oh, yeah,
But I mean, Michael Wilson will be entering in the final year of his contract. Michael Wilson's good.
What would the Higgins situation be like if they just blew it all up there, or is he coming up on a contract?
No, he's already in a contract. He just signed a big contract.
25 or something.
Yeah, so the Tennessee Titans would have to eat a lot, but give up less draft capital to maybe trade for T. Higgins, but they're not going to trade T. Higgins. That's one of the reasons why your job is kind of attractive, is because you have Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and all that. So for me, it's like Brandon Ayuk seems to be the closest guy. He's also the same age as Stephon Diggs when he got traded and all that kind of stuff.
27, right?
Yeah, around 27. So, like, for me,
maybe they're breaking news right now. They're trading for that receiver.
Right in my ear. Can I not get any warning so I can turn the volume down?
I just wanted to do that, catch you off guard. Texas has fired defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski and has hired Will Muschamp as the next defensive coordinator for the Longhorns.
There you go. I have no thoughts on that whatsoever.
I just wanted
that is kind of a little weird, though.
Was he a defensive assistant somewhere? Where was he?
That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure what Muschamp was doing.
Like a behind-the-scenes guy for somebody. I don't remember him being a DC anywhere.
That is a little weird, it feels like, because I feel like the Texas defense wasn't an issue these last few years, especially this last year.
Got to deflect, man. You know, it was definitely the offense.
Yeah.
The quarterback play.
Yeah, that one seems a little weird.
Oh, man. Come on, Arch, man. Make me look good.
So, yeah, I mean, but if you're looking for that vet wide receiver, I don't think you're going to be able to find it in free agency outside of Brandon Ayuk. It's going to have to be trade. But, A.J. Brown's probably not going to want to come
that's
here.
how I keep reading the Fed. Oh, man. Yeah. Dang it. Yep.
So you may have to wait for your third year to get that guy. Maybe a DJ Moore. Maybe that is one name I haven't thought about.
That seems realistic, by the way.
Let's look at old DJ Moore real quick.
Where's he at now?
Chicago.
He said, we're at Chicago.
Okay.
That's a good one right there that I didn't think of. DJ Moore, I don't know. His contract is pretty untradeable right now. Well, no, they could trade him if they traded him by
They're going to trade one of his
the
weapons.
third day of league year. They would be able to get out of it pretty easily. But you got to do it by the third day of league year this year.
On pay average year?
So you would probably take on contracts, if you were to trade for him, of 23.5 for the next 2 years. Actually, all 4 years are 23.5 apiece of what you would take on. So maybe you work a little magic, a little extension, but that's also, I mean, he is going to be 29. So he's a little older than Stephon Diggs, but you wouldn't have to worry about paying him anything unless you want to turn some of that into a signing bonus to kind of maybe to save your year 1, year 2 salary.
So what if you stay status quo and you come back with Ridley? No.
It's not the worst idea, to be honest with you. It really isn't the worst idea.
What was his injury again? An ankle?
I think he was a hamstring, right?
At the start, yes, but against Houston.
Oh, that's right. It was something.
It was something serious, right?
Yeah, it was something serious.
Let's say it was his fibula.
Fibula, yeah.
Yeah, his fibula.
Oh, he can come back from that.
But he, like Blaine, I've been saying all year, and I know it's been a tough year for Ridley, obviously, but he provides something this receiver room doesn't have. That route running ability. Like, we don't have that in there. Besides,
I want to
Van,
believe in the guy. I saw all his talents in there. He is the most inconsistent dude I could, man.
But
with all that ability, I just go, oh, man, he is underachieving.
And again, if you get the right coaching staff in here, we may view this whole conversation a little bit differently. You may be able to,
but he did it with the Jags too.
No. I'm just saying needing a Stephon Diggs.
Oh, I got you.
I do agree that I think it's not the craziest idea in the world to keep Calvin Ridley.
Well, it ain't the worst, right?
The worst. But I mean, we got to understand that it is what it is probably for him at this point. And so we don't.
Them Alabama guys.
Yeah. Hey, listen. There's a handful that are pretty good. But
this guy could have, man, he may be the fastest and quickest in totality I've seen in a tight.
Jameson Williams probably could give him a little run for his money.
Oh yeah, Jameson Williams is fast now.
And now Jalen Waddle has the deep speed and everything, but Jameson Williams kind of like Calvin Ridley, in and out of your breaks kind of speed.
He looked different, man.
It will be really interesting to see what the Tennessee Titans do on offense, because right here, Joe Blacko says right here, best way to win is running the ball in defense. Maybe they put wide receiver on the back burner for free agency purposes and say, well, we could find our guy in the draft this year, and maybe next year we'll start looking at some of these contracts that we couldn't get done this year. We can get done next year, because they still got to likely extend Jeff Simmons. this offseason, and they're likely going to extend Peter Skoronski. It'd be better to go ahead and get Peter Skoronski done now than later. It'd probably be the same for Jeff. Get it done now rather than wait another season. So I'm kind of viewing those two guys are going to take up a lot of the cash flow, but we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see because right now, obviously, we're projecting all of this because we don't know who the coach is.
No.
What if they do hire Robert Saleh and who's over at San Francisco right now? Does that eliminate Brandon Ayuk? Or does he know stuff behind the scenes that says, well, Brandon Ayuk's not as bad as what it's being made out to be in the media. It's just a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, those kinds of situations exist, and maybe different coaches open up different avenues for players available for trade. Maybe players that you feel that are kind of under the radar. Because I kind of feel like Van Jefferson needs to be around here. We keep saying it.
Yeah, he's a security blanket. But is this inappropriate? Like, can you ask Robert Saleh, hey, if we hire you, would you go after Brandon Ayuk? Would you trade for him?
I think you can ask that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Would you go after Garrett Wilson?
Oh, yeah. There's another connection to Robert Saleh, Garrett Wilson up in New York.
Well.
Which that is a number one receiver. A lot of these other guys are kind of, number one. He is.
You think
that
they would
dude.
give up on him? I mean, man,
I have a hard time believing they'd give him up.
Giddy if they got him.
They've shown, though, this season that for the right price, they'll give these guys up. They gave up Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams. I mean, Quentin Williams has been there for a while now.
Yeah, well.
And he's been one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league.
Dang. Ooh, but Garrett B, man, he was going after Rodgers, too. Hey, man, give me the ball.
It's lame of him. That made me not like him as much.
I like that to a certain extent. I mean, I want a guy like
Garrett
that.
Wilson may be a little untradeable, too, looking at his contract.
Look,
Blaine, he didn't understand that he wasn't.
I forgot he signed. I forgot
he signed a new contract?
Yeah, I forgot.
What?
4-year, $130 million contract. I forgot that he had signed that.
I did not know that. I thought he was still on his rookie deal.
I did too, because I thought that's why he was so disgruntled. But now I'm remembering. I think they went ahead and paid him.
Nope, that not happened.
Yeah. Oof. It's going to be slim pickings to find that kind of veteran wide receiver for this Tennessee Titans team. And I know everybody loves it. I keep hearing, you got to find a guy that takes the top off the defense. Well, you guys keep saying that, but then you also say that Cam Ward can't hit anything outside the numbers. So which is it? Like, I mean, you're just going to have a guy out there getting cardio? We need to start attacking the short and intermediate end of the field, and you don't need a guy that takes the top off the defense. And Chimere Dike can maybe be that guy with some more refined route running to his game because he is an explosive wide receiver. He has the athleticism. I just don't know. And we've seen him get open deep.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
most of that
about
stuff
route
is-
running, how you get open
Yeah.
deep. I'm going to say this. Derek Mason wasn't the fastest, but I sure kept
He
seeing
get
him beat
open.
people deep.
Yep.
I mean, so it's not about who's fast or not. I mean, this is kind of interesting here. Someone said this. What about the Jacoby Myers who was just traded?
Yeah.
Solid player, not an elite player, maybe not where I was thinking, but that'd be a good piece to add to the group that you already got.
Yeah, I mean, that's a guy that would be
Where did the Raiders trade him to?
He traded him to the Jaguars. See, we just saw him.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
be 30 next year. He is a free agent. But, I mean, he's kind of a young 30, it feels like. Because, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like he's been injured a lot.
So then you're stuck with your man Pierce from the Colts.
Or Debo or Romeo Dobbs. But none of those guys are like, they're not that Stephon Diggs guy. And even Alec Pierce is really not that Stephon Diggs guy.
But see, like,
Good players, but not
Right.
elite. But I think that's what we go for.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
but that's where it's like, I guess the difference is they might not be that guy, but can they be that guy in your system? They might not have to be that guy in general.
Right.
But can
No,
they
I
be
get what
that
you're
guy
saying.
in your system? So if you think one of these guys that's a 2 in the league, or maybe a 3 on a team that has a better receiving room, could be that guy in your system,
But that's what we thinking with Ridley.
might have to take the risk. Well, over 1,000 yards last year with Levis and Rudolph.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he squeaked over the mark.
You just mad at him ever since that Broncos game.
Come on, he supposed to be that dude. It's always something, man. Come on.
Yeah.
With all that talent, man, it's like you a first rounder. The quarterback only gets so many. Okay, he's very, he's just first year, man. No, it come third year, darn excuse. This dude was in like his 6th year, man. Come on, man. He supposed to be out there dominating. I mean, seriously.
It's painful to me. I love watching him run routes, man.
I do too.
It's like
oh
art.
my gosh, he's like running with the wind. He's almost like he was floating out there, man. It was just cool to watch. Wow.
Coming up next, we're going to talk about where Bill Barnwell recently ranked the Tennessee Titans in potential head coaching search desirability. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Well, naturally, it's the holiday season, and I love the holidays, in particular, the holiday parties, because guess what? I love to go and eat at all these different spots, and guess what? I also love not putting on the weight. Yes, so the approach to weight loss at Edge Peptide Hormone Therapy is a little bit different. We make sure all your patients have extensive lab work and face-to-face conversations in office with our nurse practitioner to create a customized treatment plan tailored to your specific needs. They use only U.S.-based FDA-audited compounding pharmacies because knowing where your peptides come from always matters. You also get to enjoy access to their in-body scanner to track weight loss and make sure you are maintaining your muscle mass just like I do. And you get to lower your A1C, keeping your cravings in check, prioritizing protein, and having someone guide your journey from start to finish. So call the team at Edge Peptide for all of your wellness questions at 615, of course, 724-1878. That's 724-1878 or edgepeptide.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all four seasons garage doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Bill Barnwell today put out an article over at ESPN.com ranking NFL head coach potential openings best to worst.
Yeah.
Now, he's saying teams like that haven't fired their head coaches, but likely will. Teams like the Bengals, the Browns, the Cardinals, the Dolphins, the Falcons, and the Raiders are on the list. There's only 2 head coaching openings between the Giants and the Titans. So he added 6 more where it's like Zach Taylor's time's probably done.
But he just already
Cincinnati.
said the guy's going to get fired up.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the number 1 spot. Like if that opened up, they have the 4th most projected cap space over at the Cincinnati Bengals. And they have the 10th most projected 2026 draft capital. They have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Pretty good spot for whoever you may hire. So that, to me, makes sense. Number 1 job opening. Here's where things get interesting. Arizona Cardinals come in at number 2.
What?
As the second most attractive job opening. No quarterback situation settled at all. I mean, nobody's coming in and take a job for Kyler Murray.
But okay.
That's how I view it. Like, I mean, you should not
trade him.
I would say so. Trade him. I don't know. Cut him. Like, I look at it this way: if you're hiring a guy to get the most out of Kyler Murray, you're doing your process wrong. Because I don't think Kyler Murray's the guy that you can first off trust to be available and be locked in.
Oh man.
So I would assume that, but they have the 17th most cap space and 6th most draft capital. Now they've drafted fairly well, and I do think the Cardinals are better than their record. They are 2-7 in games decided by 7 points or fewer. So maybe Jonathan Gannon keeps his job, and they just decide, listen, we've been rolling with Jacoby Brissett the majority of this year. We're not really feeling Kyler Murray, but we like Jonathan Gannon. So we'll see about that one. But he has that as number 2. Don't know if I agree with that. Here's where it gets interesting. Number 3, the Cleveland Browns, who have the 26th most cap space in the NFL next year. And there is first off, the Browns should be down there. Well, I'm assuming the Raiders
we
are
get the PR machine working, man.
The Browns should not be higher than anybody else on this list.
The Cardinal, but this is just a slap in the face.
Yeah. I could not believe that the Browns are higher because I think they have arguably, maybe the Jets have the worst, at least the second worst ownership in the league. They still have Deshaun Watson and still say they want to keep Deshaun Watson for next year.
Oh, he's going to be a veteran backup next year.
Yeah.
Making all that money.
And you got a lot of draft capital, but it's a mess in Cleveland. You are never it doesn't feel like you'll ever find sustained success for your Cleveland head coach. It's kind of like the Jets. Like if you go there, you may have 1 year of good success, and then you're going to flame out.
And you live in the city of Cleveland.
Ooh,
sorry, I don't like it.
Oh, I appreciate a good drive-by like that.
He will be available.
It may be. Unless he gets the job. You never know. You may get the job. Or maybe they'll give it to Tommy Reese.
Oh, man.
The Tennessee Titans come in at number 4. I would say I thought they were going to be a little lower because everybody says they have a horrible public perception. Maybe just these other teams have it worse. But number 4 is Tennessee Titans. They have the most projected cap space in 2026, $120.1 million. And they have the 5th most or 5th best set of draft picks in 2026.
Okay.
So the draft capital is looking pretty good. Got Cam Ward. Cam Ward is kind of, is a selling point, he says. He also says a selling point is that you have all that money and maybe someone comes in and they can have Mike Vrabel and them, they had all that money last year and they spent a lot of that money on a ton of pieces. Not just like 2 or 3 big ticket items, just a ton of pieces across the board. They say that Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat are selling points, and so are Cedric Gray. So there are pieces to work with here. Then it goes. So I was actually pretty surprised. Yeah, okay. Something like that. Number 4, a little bit higher than I really thought when I opened up the article, but that makes sense. I think it needs to be higher than the Browns, but maybe they should have stayed at 4 and someone should have jumped them. But
and this is just one person's opinion. The actual candidates.
Don't go into detail, but give us 2 or 3 that's behind.
New York Giants come in at number 5.
Okay.
Really?
Yep.
You see that?
The Atlanta Falcons come in at number 6. See, I figure the Falcons may be higher.
I think the Giants should be higher than the Browns, too.
But the problem with the Falcons, 24th most projected cap space and one of the worst set of 2026 draft picks you could have because they don't have a first.
Trade that pick to the Rams.
Yep. The Miami Dolphins come in at 7.
They don't even have a GM.
Yeah, they don't have a GM.
They just
may not have a head coach. No quarterback.
How did they do that?
I don't know. Because if you look at the Dolphins, they got the 20. They're right now projected to be in 2026 minus $2.6 million over the cap. So $2.6 million over the cap. And then obviously comes in last, Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, a little surprising just because they have the second most cap space and the third best set of draft picks. But it's again, if you want to talk real ownership issues, maybe there's something there over at with Mark Davis and all them. Like, I mean, everybody wants to crap on Amy Adams-Strunk, but there may be a lot of at least 5 or 6 more worse owners in football. Yeah. At least.
Dang.
At least we don't have, family members pulling out Madden ratings to determine
that is true
structure of our roster.
And listen, PFT yesterday, Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio, he suggested that Aaron Glenn could be one and done in the New York Jets. Now, most people that covered the New York Jets said they would be shocked if he was one and done. But there is a feeling out there that he could be one and done up there.
I saw he fired the DC.
He did. He fired Steve Wilkes. That was something. I don't know what it is about.
Because they said he didn't. They didn't have any interceptions, right, or something
like that. But I also is Steve Wilkes the most fired defensive coordinator of like the last 5 years? I don't get it.
He could be controversial. Like if you say, "Hey man, run this," because that's what happened in Super Bowl. He's like, "Nah, I'm running this. Don't run that. We're not blitzing right now."
Right.
And he go, "Okay, I'm blitzing." I think that's his issue.
Yeah. I don't know. But, I mean, I think the Browns need to be lower. And I'm actually a little surprised the Falcons aren't number 3. But I guess with your limited resources that you have there, and you really don't know what Michael Penix is because, again, he had an injury history in college, and he's already injured again. Maybe there is an issue there.
Man, Pierce is doing pretty good, right, on sacks. He got like 8 sacks.
Yes. I think pretty close to that.
6 in a row. 6 games in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That was pretty interesting. I mean, and they traded up for him. And I was like, well, that's not that crazy of a move. But now maybe in hindsight, it's going to look like a crazy move. But
I'll take his 8 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, you would love to have 6.5 sacks or 7.5, whatever he's at, 8 here in Nashville and from a year one player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's more than Femi.
Yeah.
He was injured.
Yep. And we'll see if he comes back.
Is he going to play? You think he's going to play?
We may know that answer tomorrow. Bryce Oliver says he's feeling good in the locker room.
Oh, he looked good running routes. He was doing change of direction. I was like, hey, man, he need to be out there. Yeah. I don't know what's the name of my man X. He was running, but he still like he was testing it out.
Well, how would you know he's testing something out or just running at full speed?
Stop that. You trying to say he's slow?
He's a little slow. All right.
It was hard to tell. I'm telling you that. That's all I was trying to say.
All right. That will do it for us. This has been Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. 3HL's up next. And in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.